and then just driving it home with retargeting and
Absolutely.
the launch specific campaigns that have had crazy returns. Like I remember this one campaign I ran 2 years ago. I think it was actually Black Friday 2 years ago, right around that time. And we spent $950 in retargeting ads, and we made 57 grand. I've seen you over the years just absolutely crushing it with ads, all these different campaigns, and just like as one of the people that really stuck through with it. Like I always say, people always ask like, who do you recommend for Facebook ads? I'm like, the only people I can recommend, you can't even hire them. Like they're just the best. But you can definitely learn from them, and we're going to be doing a lot of that on this interview today. So if you guys are
Absolutely.
out there watching live, I'm super curious if you have ever run a Facebook ad in your life. Let me get a yes down in the chat. If you've never run an ad, let me get a not yet down in the chat. And if you want to flex a little bit, go ahead and drop in the chat how much money you or your company or your agency has spent on ads. And I'm curious about you, man. How much have you spent on ads?
So let me tell you a story. Back in 2017, I spoke on stage with Dennis Yu, which I assume most people know who he is. He is the CEO of Blitzmetrics. And I got up there, and at the time, I had my company was pretty recent. Like I started ads in 2012, but I
Mm-hmm.
only started my own business in 2015. So I got on stage in 2017 and I made a comment that I spent $1 million on ads. And at the end of the speech, Dennis came to me and he said, I don't think you should be telling people that, because for most people who really spend on ads, like $1 million isn't that much. For example, I've spent $1 billion on ads. So that was back in 2017. I can't imagine what his number is now.
Right.
Probably like over $10 billion in ads. My number, I started losing count. I've definitely passed $20 million in ad spend.
Wow.
But it's, when you're not working, I've worked with, at this point, over 100 different clients, whether it was for some small project or for years. I've had a single client since 2017. So it's kind of hard to keep track. You don't have all their ad accounts. There's no like one place to check. But like I have
Yep.
one client alone. I posted this yesterday. I have two clients that made over $10 million. Like two different
Love
clients
it.
that made over $10 million. So they both one spent, I don't know, $2 million, just them, just the one
Mm-hmm.
client. The other one has some insane numbers. So it's like they spent something like $600,000 to make $10 million. Like they have like a 13 times return. So they're absurd.
Wow.
That
Who else wants to learn how to take 600 grand and turn it into 10 million? Let me get a 10 million down in the chat below, guys. 10 freaking $1 million.
and they have high,
That's life
and their stuff
changing.
is high margin too. So they're like walking away with a nice amount of money.
Yeah, that's very cool. So I know most of the people out there watching, they don't have 600 grand to blow on ads. I know I don't. But
Yet,
I've
yet.
I've loved my experiences with ads so far, except for the recent one of getting my ad account shut down. Because what I've found is, especially with what I teach around groups and all this organic side, is that when you marry the two, you get this crazy ROI. So like I've been such a fan of using a lot of group building and audience building and all this organic stuff, and then just driving it home with retargeting and
Absolutely.
the launch specific campaigns that have had crazy returns. Like I remember this one campaign I ran 2 years ago. I think it was actually Black Friday 2 years ago, right around that time. And we spent $950 in retargeting ads, and we made 57 grand. It was like just purely organic and then maximized with the
Yeah.
retargeting. It's nuts. It's so cool what you can do with a little bit of money. So really excited for
Right.
you to share that, and some of those strategies for people to get started with ads. Just kind of break the ice, because one thing I've found is after showing like thousands of my clients, hey, look at this, 5, 10, $15 a day strategy that helped me make 57 grand off of
Right.
$1,000. They're like, okay, cool, but they never do it. Like, why do most people hesitate to pull the trigger on even turning on their first ads?
So I have seen this so often. Have you ever, like, you're scrolling through Facebook and you see these people, I made 6 figures, I never spent any money. right?
Yeah.
So my first comment is like, why didn't you spend any money? What you like losing out on the other 6 figures it could have made. So I know that there are so many business owners that are afraid to even put any amount because they think they need a lot. Like right before the call, I was telling you, like, businesses think like it's not even worth it unless I'm spending $1,000 a day. What's the point? So what's amazing about Facebook ads, which is different than old media, like you want, do I still have that magazine here? If you want to be in a magazine, you have to pay the flat rate to be in that magazine. And if you get 1 impression or 1,000,000 impressions, you pay the amount of money. And there's no real way to track unless you're using, like some sort of bit.ly, tracking links, or you're using special phone numbers. There's no real way to know what's going on with that one magazine. How many people saw it? How many people got to your website because of it? How many people, whatever. It's all in the dark. On Facebook, you know every single thing that happens. You know how many people saw your ad, how many times they saw on average, how many people clicked, and then what they did on your site when they got there. Did they just become a lead, or did they actually buy every single little thing? And you can start at just $1. Like you could have a campaign that just $1 a day.
$1.
And I think people just see advertising as I need to spend lots of money. And really the thing you said before is really the heart of this whole conversation, which is if you have an organic audience, there is so much money to be made with ads, because people forget that. Let's say you have I know you have a group of 80,000 people. How big is your email list?
It's like 25, 30K.
So you have let's say just 25,000. You have 25,000 people on your email list, and you have a great open rate of 30%, right? You have a great open rate of 30%. I don't know if yours is high or low, but let's just say 30%. So now 25,000, I'm using a calculator, I'm not just like brainiac. You have 7,500 opens, right? So that means that you lost 17,500 people from opening the email. These are people that you paid, or you got them on your email list. They know who you are. They know your brand. They got something for free. They're probably in your Facebook group because you use GroupFunnels to grab those email addresses and get them onto your list.
Of course.
So that means that 17,500 people never even opened the email, which means it's likely that 15,000 of them don't even know you sent an email. So you have a new offer. You have this new, you just mentioned before, you have this new, new membership program for, I think it's $50 a month now. 15,000 people don't even know you sent the email. They have no idea you even sent the email. Now another 2,500 saw the email but didn't open it. And then from the 7,500, you're lucky if you're getting, let's say, 3%, which is 750 clicks on the email. You're lucky if you're getting 750 clicks. So that means out of your 25,000 people that you sent to, your best people, 24,250 of them never actually made it to the page to learn about your product.
Oh,
right?
Ouch.
And this is a list you spent.
If that doesn't hurt you guys, that doesn't feel like you're being robbed, then you gotta pay attention closer on this episode, guys.
Absolutely.
That's huge. That's huge. And like, I remember like one way I always tried to, convince my clients to start up with ads was looking at even some of the low spend stuff, even for like service providers. I know a lot of people do it for e-com courses, webinar, all this different stuff where it's like kind of a no-brainer. It's a lot more normalized. But even for like service-based, if you're an agency, what if you put out, all this content, you have this warm audience, and you have so many people in there, and you have these agency clients worth thousands of dollars every month, but you're not spending $5 a day or $10 a day or $20 a day to get in front of those people who were once curious about working with you. Like, it's crazy. It's so much left on the table. And I really think that's one of the biggest things that helped me break into the multi 6 figures. Like, I got into the first 6 figures or so, hardly anything on ads. Like, I did a little bit, maybe a couple thousand spend just on retargeting and all that. But actually really breaking more into it, that's when I started, throwing down more money, speeding up the growth, making things happen, later on moving into, other funnels. But guys, this is so much money on the table. So what kind of low budget strategies should these people be using?
So the first thing you need to think about is who you can target. So we already mentioned your email list. The next group is your website visitors. Anyone that came to your website within the last 6 months, there's someone you could run ads to. Number 3 is anyone that likes your Facebook page. For now, Facebook is planning to stop allowing that targeting, but for now, anyone that likes your Facebook page. And then if you have a Facebook page or Instagram with lots of engagement, so they count engagement as anyone who comments, likes, or shares, anyone who messages the page, anyone who saves a post or the page, anyone who just visits the page. So someone just visits your Facebook page, that's enough of a retargeting. And the last one is video views. So again, just 3 seconds of a video view is enough for them to fall into a retargeting audience.
Yes, and that's actually one of my favorite hacks for group owners too.
Yeah.
Is how, so I have this set up where if you go and you know, you join one of my groups, usually the main announcement video is not just a video posted to the group, it's a video posted to the business page, shared into the group, and then pinned as an announcement. That way, anybody that comes in, they're in that custom audience. That was actually one of my best ads for GroupFunnels. Was people were coming in, they were seeing the video in the audience, and they were getting a retargeting ad that says, hey, you're seeing this because you probably just joined my group. If you want other ways to follow up with your audience too, you should check out GroupFunnels. And it was like one of our best ads. It was like, so it just clicks. It's like value.
Absolutely.
It worked.
Absolutely. And that is actually one of the best tips for moving group users onto your Facebook page.
Yeah.
So again, you can't target you can't target people that are in your group, but you can find ways for them to shift over to one of these targeting audiences, whether that's grabbing their email, you know, at the in that form when they sign up to the group. If it's getting them to your website, you know, I know some people have this thing like, get this special code, you know, go to my website and get the special code and put it in the box, and then I'll let you in my group. And they have to and you have to go to the website. So that's getting them into your group. I think the best person I ever saw do that was a woman named Amanda Francis, who was running ads to her program. And in order to get into the program, you had to join a special group just for the program. The way that she got people to sign up was, step 1 was a video ad sent to a landing page. The landing page asked you for your email address. And then after the email, on the thank you page, it told you to go join the group. So now she got you on her website, she got your email address, and only now do you even know the link to the group. And
yes, guys, this is big. Can I pause you right there?
Absolutely.
So hands down, people always ask, you know, how do I grow a Facebook group with ads? Not by sending directly to the group. Guys, don't do it.
Not only that, but Facebook actually doesn't let you. It's against the official policy of Facebook to run ads directly to a Facebook URL. So you're not allowed to run it to a group. So that combination is really powerful because, one, the person that made it that far to that thank you page, they're committed. Like, they're already sold on whatever. If they jump through 6 hoops to get to your group, they're in it. But on top of that, you've now gotten them into your email list, you've gotten them on your website, and you've probably got them on your Facebook page through that whole process. So now we built this audience, right? You built these warm, organic audiences. And now the question is, what should you show them to get them to buy? Like, what's the thing that gets them to buy? So you already mentioned a ton of examples, right? You got them with the hook of the how to grow your group, and then you sold them GroupFunnels with another video upsell. So what you want to understand is that you don't have to do so much selling once they're already sold. Once the person has gotten to this point of they've watched 5 minutes of your video and they love you, and you know they see the value already, you don't have to do so much more to get them to buy, except for tell them to buy.
Yeah, tell them where to buy. Click here.
Tell them where to buy. So people are like, you know, if they really want it, they'll go find it. No, but don't leave them to go find it. Show them exactly where it is. Like, you want my phone? Click down below in the link, sign up and get my phone. Like, that's it. Like, literally tell them what to do in the simplest terms. And that's the last stage of the funnel, right? If you've done all the work to get them this far, you spend a little bit of money to get them to take the last step, which is literally what we were talking about with the email list. So you got this 25,000 person group email list, only 750 made it to the website. So now spend your money on the other 2,500, 2,400, people to get them to come to your site and buy your product. And what's the ad? The ad is literally I got a new thing, click down below, check it out. Don't tell them, don't try to, there's no funnel thing here. There's no upselling. There's no explaining why it's great. You don't have to do all that stuff anymore. You've already done it organically. So this is literally the cheapest you're going to spend. It's just, you're going to love this. Click right now, buy it. And I would not be surprised if ads like that, obviously, depending on what you're selling, right? If you're selling something that's $50, you're not going to get a 20 times return. But if you're selling something that's $1,000, $5,000, you're selling a coaching program that's $12,000, you could be getting 10, 20, 30 times return on your ad spend to these people because you've done the work. Like this is like Scott Oldford, like 101 almost,
Right.
And it's just like you get them in your pond and you literally just show them ads all day long. They know who you are. They know how great you are and fantastic. They know what you're selling. And now it's just a matter of getting them to that sales page to actually give your credit card.
Yeah. And it's so much less hard than some of the other things. Like I love organic, but it's hard. Like you got to put out a lot of content. You got to be a lot more consistent. But if you write one good ad, that ad can run for a long time, and it could be that simple. Like one of my other favorite things about like these low cost ads is so much of it is like the staying top of mind, the branding of it, and like having ads go on audience network. So you want to explain real quick what audience network is for people who might not know?
Okay. So when you run ads on Facebook, they give you a lot of options of where the ad can show up. So the obvious places is the news feed on Facebook and Instagram, mobile and desktop, the sidebar on your desktop, if anyone still sees those ads anymore. And then Facebook has a network of apps all over the world, literally millions of apps that basically generate money by having ads pop up while you're playing a game. Most of these ads are ads, even TikTok for a long time before TikTok rolled out TikTok ads were using Facebook audience network ad placements. It's a really simple way. It's basically the same thing as Google display. It's just Facebook ads instead of Google ads. So that is an audience network. So I'm curious what you're about to say about it, because in general, most of the time, the quality of those clicks are very low because it's people that are you're getting in their way. Like they're literally in the middle of playing some game. Like imagine like someone's playing, who knows what, Among Us. They're playing Among Us right now. The game just ended and they just want to start their next game. And now there's an ad and they're just like, what am I doing here? So most people don't love those ads. The time it's great is for people that already know you. Because if you're,
exactly,
I think it was you who someone said they saw an ad of yours on Tinder or something.
That's what I was about to say. Yeah, because I wanted to ask you about to get context for the audience, but like I think that's some of the power I found in it is when they're already in the warm audience somewhere,
right?
And it feels like they can't escape. Like they're in my group, on my email list, getting a voicemail, seeing my ads like on all these apps and stuff. Like, because I remember somebody posted up, and they're like, dude, Arne, I was on Tinder and I was swiping and then you popped up. Like, what the hell, man? And I was like, well, did you swipe right and buy my stuff? What happened, And that's the power of it, because it's just multiplying you, not just on the Facebook platform, but all these different partner platforms, apps and websites and like it's not true, but it even places you on publications like Business Insider. Like I had somebody get confused and say like, wow, I saw your post on Business Insider. I'm like, oh, well, that was just an ad, but thank you. So
I paid a lot less. I paid a lot less than paying.
I didn't pay for that feature.
That was like the whole genius of Facebook's instant articles. So Facebook. So a little step back, I guess. It used to be when you were using the mobile app, when you clicked on a link, it would send you off of Facebook. It would send you to, like, if you, let's say, Google Chrome or a Safari or something, you would go to that other web browser on your phone, and that's where you would scroll through. So Facebook was actually sending traffic off of Facebook to, Safari, and then Google would make money on Google ads from that site. And Facebook's like, why would we do that? We don't want that. Yeah. We want the money to us. So then they brought the web browser into their own app. So now when you click on a link, it just brings you to the Facebook web browser on your phone, whether you're on Android, iPhone, or Linux phone. I don't know who has a Linux phone, but those people, everyone talks about Linux phones.
Is that still the case?
It goes, when you click on a link, Facebook or Instagram on any phone, you are kept in the Facebook web browser.
Really
Yes.
interesting, because I remember the instant articles, but I remember like it used to be so much more a clear thing. It was like it had the little lightning bolt, and you knew you were in
Yeah.
an instant article. But yeah, I
So,
didn't
so
even think about
instant
that for
articles are
right now.
different. Their instant articles are even more different than, they're additionally different to that, which is not only are you kept in the browser, you're actually, they actually like, you remember Facebook Notes? Do you remember?
Yeah,
I don't know, people say, so that it's basically an instant article is basically a note. So you're not leaving to a browser, you're going to a page on Facebook with the article on it.
I'm seeing that now, because so like I just pulled up my feed, and like I found the IFL science site, and they
Okay.
just posted an article. And then now I'm looking, and I guess I just never registered before that this is the Facebook browser. I don't know
Yes.
how I know why, because I scrolled down enough, and then bam, we see Pavlok ads. What's up, Manish? Like, can somebody watching tag Manish in the comments right now? Because we got Pavlok ads everywhere. And yeah, it's like clearly the same Facebook ads I'm seeing in the other places. And like
Right.
at the bottom, it has, save and chat and share
Right.
and all this stuff. That's so cool. I guess I just never registered. The UI is so slick that you can't even
Yeah,
tell.
and it's actually another step smarter, which is that Safari in 2018 announced that they're deleting cookies. So everyone was very nervous back then that Facebook would not be able to track with the Facebook pixel, because right now the Facebook pixel tracks for 28 days. But if by default Safari was deleting all the pixel data, then Facebook wouldn't be able to track for 28 days anymore. So
Yep.
Google announced that next year they're going to do the same thing, and everyone's freaking out because they're like, "How am I going to track all my people? I need them to buy my. I need to be able to track that they're buying my stuff." So the good news is that almost everyone on, first of all, almost everyone's on mobile. Something like right now, it's like over 80% of users of Facebook and Instagram are on mobile and not on desktop.
Who's watching this right now? Are you on mobile or desktop? Let me know in the
That's a
chat.
good question. That's a good question. Most people are on mobile. Most people are clicking on ads on mobile, and those mobile ads are going to the Facebook web browser and not an off-brand either Chrome or Safari or who knows, Mozilla or something, Firefox, Opera, whatever other ones people use these days. They're not sending them to there, which means that Facebook is still able to keep all those cookies for as long as they want, really. Almost, they could hold it for, there's no laws preventing them from holding it for more than up to a year, I guess. So that's really the genius of the whole thing, is that not only are they able to make more money on those articles, sending them to the Facebook web browser with Facebook ads, but on top of that, they're able to continue to hold on to pixel data that other platforms are deleting for privacy and security reasons. So Facebook is able to keep your data longer, it loads faster because it's within the app, and it allows you to, and us, the advertisers, to know more information about the users that we're sending to our ads.